Happy Thursday the 20th of June. It's the Power Platform Daily Brief with me, Mark Christie.
Me, Bearded 365 guy, Ian Connolly.
Oh, we're even introducing you that way.
Oh, yeah, no, good grief, I didn't practice that. And me, Claire Carmichael.
Yeah, no, so what are you then? What's your Twitter handle, if we were going with Twitter handles?
I can't remember which way around it is.
365 CRC.
Thanks, Ian.
Is it? I thought it was CRC 365.
So did I until the
Yes, yeah, no, I don't know anymore.
Anyway, you don't know your Twitter handle.
Now we know.
Mark only just discovered the date because he really had to work it out there. But we're all good, so how are we today?
I can't even begin to talk about it. I'm not okay.
Are you hungry by any chance?
I am a little peckish.
Oh, peckish.
There we go.
I like that. So why are you hungry?
Because my sandwich got stolen by a seagull out of my hand. while I was eating it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I mean, I work round the corner from you. I don't know if I've ever seen this humongous seagull that I wouldn't fight for a sandwich, but I don't think I want to meet it.
It came swooping over my right shoulder, clipped me in the back of the head, nicked the sandwich, and then just brazenly wandered off, eating my baguette.
I love how it actually was fly enough to distract you by hitting you in the head when you look away and then just takes your sandwich. That's only a Glasgow seagull knows how to pickpocket you like that.
I mean, it was sly.
It's clever.
It's almost like seagulls make Glasgow.
It's definitely better than the seagull that went into the shop in Aberdeen and stole a packet of crisps. If you don't know what that is, you can YouTube
That's
that.
amazing.
We need more of that. Was it not in a Greg's?
It's like a Greg's or a Newsies or something. Like somebody opens the door and it wanders in, gets crisps, wanders back out and just eats them.
You just eat them?
Yeah.
I've not seen this.
Oh, we'll put it in the show notes.
Thank you, please.
Cool, but
so
on today's show, so what's been happening? What have you found this week?
So I'm going to diverge a little. A lot of people who listen or who are in the community do a lot of talking anyway. So this is going to be quite a good one. So a lot of AI is coming in to Dynamics and to sort of the whole Power Platform.
Yep.
It's also coming into PowerPoint at the moment. So you can, at the moment it's only on the web version of PowerPoint, but you can have the AI give you stats on how long you spent rehearsing, how many slides you went through. You can set your time for how long your slides are for, and it can pace you over your slides, tell you to hurry up, tell you to slow down, just give you lots of useful little tidbits like that. So
almost like a little hand in doing a presentation where it will teach you more about it. That's pretty cool, actually, because how many people dwell too long on one slide? At first I thought, I don't like the sound of that. I don't like it telling me that I've taken too long and stuff, but actually, that's cool. Yeah,
and I don't know, I need to have a proper play about with it, but I would imagine it's going to get to a level where you're going through your presentation, and if you're running late on what it thinks you're going to deliver, it can tell you to speed up or slow down on a live presentation.
Depends how it shows it, right?
Well, if you imagine you normally have your presentation, so you've got here's the slide we're on, here's what's coming next in your notes, and a timer on the top right. I would hope it just goes in there.
Yep, that's what it has to be. If it goes on to if you duplicate your screen or something like that, then that's not so brilliant. But obviously, that's not presenter helpful, so I wouldn't like to think it's there. But that's pretty cool.
Yep,
I like to think it'll just cough.
Flash a light.
Swift elbow in the ribs. Done.
Yep.
Or sync it up to my watch so that it gives me a wee different vibrate to slow down or to speed up.
That would be quite nice.
Ooh.
Probably could do that with Flow.
Flow and some, was it the IFFT or something like that?
That?
Yeah, that one.
IFTT, yeah.
IFTT. Sorry,
that's really what Flow is anyway. I was actually explaining that to somebody earlier on today.
Sacrilege.
It's the same thing, let's be honest.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun.
So
It's the same thing.
it's called the presenter coach for PowerPoint. I know it is a little bit different, but it will, based on the content, it can give you theme ideas based on words that you use. So if you're using business, sales, it will then suggest to use this sort of theme. It can also give you automatic recommendations for photos, styles, and colours as you're writing. Now, you've probably seen that on the right-hand side where it's done it slightly before. Apparently, it's a whole new ballgame.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's what I've picked up this week, and I've been like, oh, that's quite a good one. You can also brand your template. So think of being like in an office environment where they have, here is our slide decks that you can use. It can also start to, so here's a slide deck, here's a design templates that you can use. It can also start to read them as well.
So it will do all that clever fancy stuff around suggestions, but within your brand guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so it will do, the designer will brand templates. Companies can now define their brand guidelines and logos so that the design ideas take into account PowerPoint suggestions, new designs.
No more stretched company logos.
Oh yeah, no more.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah. The one I still love is where they go from widescreen to 4:3 to widescreen to 4:3, just jumping through the different companies. It's like they've almost stitched together two PowerPoints from two different decades.
My favourite one was so stretched. It looked like you were driving past the presentation on motorway. Just screamed across the slide.
Like the ones that are painted on the football ground and stuff like that, where it's at such an angle that it looks good in one camera, but the other one is just a smear.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
No, that's amazing. It's starting to take some of that technology into a real world applicable function. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I've been having a wee look at. What about yourself, Ian?
So it was only this morning I discovered this actually. It's a blog by CRM Chart Guy. I think it's right up Claire Street as well, to be fair, where it's talking about embedding filtered Power BI reports in Dynamics 365 forms. Not dashboards, but the actual forms. And they're embedded in such a way. Yeah, at the moment it looks like you have to edit the XML to get to it, as seems to be this is the official way, but I hope this is just a nod to the head of actually being able to enable this with all the new components, etc., that are coming in the UI, where you can have a Power BI rendered as if it's like an embedded Canvas app. It's not an iframe, it's not anything. It looks completely seamless. It scales with a page, it moves, it does everything. It looks so super cool.
So is that like if you go on an account, it will show you a chart based on the number of employees by gender and things like that?
If that's what you build the query on, yes.
So
exactly that. It's based on what you want to build the query on. So you could have...
So imagine a world...
Oh, on you go.
Sorry, no, on you go.
I love how, like, I showed this to Claire earlier, and she's got so excited about it. She's obviously off and done this already. Take over.
At a board level, you've got a sort of standard account management portfolio. There's a suite of reporting that at the board level, they want to understand how you're managing your accounts. So you can take those metrics, parse that good through, so you've actually got that pre-filtering in place, and you're looking at a particular account, one of your accounts, and you realise that it's not hitting those metrics, that it's falling behind on those metrics. And you then look at that filter report at an account level, giving you that level of immediate feedback, which is then measured on the same performance metrics as the organisation and your team and your goals and your whole department are run against. All of those incrementally lead to better performance. One report, not a huge amount of time, one set of key measurables across the entire organisation, all running together simultaneously.
And because it's a Power BI dashboard, what can you obviously do? You can obviously filter down on that as well. If you want to get granular at that point, yeah, you've got your higher level metrics. But if you want to start going down further into the individual tranches of these metrics and performance measures that are captured, that can be done all because it is a Power BI report dashboard just embedded in the form. it's a game changer, I think, because everybody has this stuff at a high level on a dashboard, and then they have to filter it on the, oh, I want it on this account, I want it on that account, and have to remember, whereas this allows them in a way that looks native to the form to have that reportable information.
No, that is going to be quite good, because in the new UI, I don't think the charts and dashboards that are there give a nice representation of your data.
No, I think they're still 2011, really, aren't they? They've not been touched the same as like the advanced find and everything else there.
Yeah.
Do you know, right, so I'm going to be slightly controversial on that front and say they are quite good. That lovely bit of cross-filtering piece, admittedly there's some issues around popping out extra data, but a standard chart embedded on a form is now filterable. You can drill down on a form, or sorry, in a chart on a form in a way that you couldn't do in Classic. It's better, but it's not Power BI. And I think our main problem now is that's our level of expectation. So we want not only to drill down on it into those sort of more finer granular metrics, but actually what we want to be able to do is hover over and see sentiment or see the combined data points that make up that metric, or a completely separate metric that says, here's how your account is performing against the company's agreed performance metrics. However, here are 8 companies that are doing so much better, and here's the account manager for those accounts. So that additional set of data that sits outside your account, but can then feed into driving performance and driving improvement in that. That's what we expect now. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's the thing that chart will never
Power
do.
BI is bringing, because you can have that there within the data set, because you can build that query. No, because it doesn't know about anything else, it just knows about the data in front of it. I think it's looking at it, it looks so pretty. For me, that's my thought about it at that point. I know obviously, Claire, you love your data in that way, and you love the reports and things. Whether it was something that was forced on you or not, but I know that Power BI is certainly your thing, and it's now a great thing for you. So yeah, when I seen that, the first person I thought of was you. I was like, you will absolutely love this.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's about time. So we'd got to a point where that same kind of requirement was being met with a kind of hyperlink out to the account management report from the account record. So you could kind of say, well, I'm on, Joe Blogs PLC, show me the account management stats for this account, and you were sort of going out to get it, passing that code through, and saying, this is what happens when you filter your account management report with the thing you're on. That is a huge level of clicking and engagement from a user that you can't necessarily guarantee that they're actually going to do. You don't know that there's something really beneficial in that report until you get there. You don't know that you need to know some of that until you get there. So potentially you're actually skipping that out, and you're driving improvement by bringing that into the form.
I think that's it as well. I think it's still passing the GUID, as you say. Everything is contextual to that account.
Yeah.
But it's, as I've said a few times, it's still native to the form.
Exactly.
It looks like it should be there. It looks like it's not I need to go to this other system to get that. It doesn't take me elsewhere. It still all renders on the same page. You've still got all the account fields all around it. It's awesome.
Yeah. And think about those sort of more low-key things that you could do with that. So we're obviously going big bells and whistles Power BI reports, but what if you've just got like high-level associated record counts just brought into like brightly coloured tiles with a bit of like opacity filtering, so you know whether something is either good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, even if you put it as
a fair bit of PCF
projects,
yeah,
and how many completed projects over how many incompleted or successful, and then you're getting that high line pure. Well, why are their projects failing over this one that's not? And it gives you, you're right, that high level element of it right there.
Yep. Things like those little timeline graphs. So here is the ongoing activity count and revenue income from this particular account. Run those two things on top of each other across the bottom of the pane. You've got something to actually say, well, this is at a glance our engagement with this organisation over the last 15 years.
No, that's quite a good way of doing it. See, you know what I'm like? I just like pretty colours. I just make it look good. But it's the data behind it. But when I do a lot of my stuff is kind of like high-level management reporting, where they don't want to see the data. They just want to see, look at the pretty shiny. That's kind of where we get.
Well, I think that's it. And where you've called out things like, gender metrics within an organisation, frankly, if it's at a board or senior management level, that account is 99.8% male. There's potentially a specific type of approach that is required.
Yep.
Think of a world in which you've got that AI embedding and all of that other lovely stuff sitting within the platform. It can start to use those things as well, if it has it.
I think that's key there, isn't it? If it has it, it doesn't matter what the data is or what you report on, it still has to be there, and it's back to what you've preached for a long time.
Yeah.
Rubbish in, rubbish out.
Well, I mean, fundamentally that, but also you can't report on something if it's not there. It can only do fancy colours and pretty graphs with what it's got. And fundamentally, that's where actually given that data to the user, the people who can actually impact those numbers, because it's all well and good handing those big, fancy, shiny numbers at a board level to those senior decision makers within the organisation going, yes, that's good, or yes, that's bad. How do we impact change? If you can feed that all the way down to the person on the ground who says, I better push this one a bit harder because that one looks like it might go awry. That is how the change happens. That is how those numbers ultimately
makes
improve.
it reportable and tangible for them, doesn't it?
How does
100%.
what I do actually impact those big shiny numbers? I love all that.
No, it's definitely going to be good.
Cool.
Obviously, I'll let you know tonight once I've finished trying it.
So what's happening in the community over the next couple of weeks or the next month, Claire?
So I'm going to rattle through a list of things that are happening. We have got, in the first instance, we've got our own user group meeting, D365 UG for Scotland in Glasgow this time round, the 27th of June. Mark, you're hosting, right? The Garment Factory?
I am the hostess with the mostess at the Garment Factory.
You'd be there anywhere we went, though.
Yeah, true.
We've also got a D365 Saturday or Power Day in Manchester on the 29th of June, and then we fall into July where actually, in fairness, it gets a little bit on the quiet side. I think people have holidays or something. Are holidays a thing?
I think they are for some people. July, August seem to be some time.
Well, I have a school child, so I'm going to probably be in and out over the course of July. We've got Power Apps Day in the Reactor on the 11th of July. And then we've also got user groups for Reading and Bristol happening in July.
Yes, the Bristol one, the 11th of July,
well?
myself, Mark Smith and Scott Duro are talking there.
I never got an invite to that one. Shocking.
There's a reason.
Fair enough. There's not. It then gets a little bit busier again towards the sort of middle of August, and then pulling round towards September, October, where it starts to get bananas again. I
think you should be a weather girl, Claire.
Do you think?
that was a very Sean Batty thing, that one.
I am currently gesturing wildly in the hope that people can understand what I'm trying to say.
And here,
too much of that seagull will come back.
Swift northwesterly into the UG in Bristol.
That's
awesome. That should have been delivered.
I don't even know where Bristol is. Geography is so not my strong suit to know if that's even a thing.
Southwest Finland, I think.
Not even close.
But cool. No, I think it brings an end to the Power Platform Daily Brief for Thursday, the 20th of June.
It's been an absolute pleasure, guys. I'm going to go get a sandwich.
Cool. Enjoy your dinner tonight. Just make sure the windows are shut.
I'm going to keep my brolly up just in case.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.